Warm greetings to all of you from the Transparency International Secretariat in Berlin, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. We commend the organizers of this conference and also you, the participants, for your efforts to tackle corruption. People like you can help build the commitment of political and business leaders and other actors to counter corruption. And you can help communicate the message that it is in the interest of individual nations and the international community as a whole to take seriously the collective harm caused by corrupt practices which benefit the few at the expense of the many. We are confronted in these times with many global challenges, creating instability, uncertainty, and disruption in our societies, and hindering achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. These challenges can only be managed if there is collaboration and mutual respect among the peoples of different nations, based on common principles of transparency and integrity. On the other hand, cross-border corruption exacerbates the challenges. As Professor Fujino observed in his article in the 7th SDG Progress Report of the Global Compact Network Japan in 2022, malfunctioning legal governance mechanisms can render ineffective regulations on human rights, labor, environment, and other social issues. Against this background, I have a few messages for you today in support of your anti-corruption efforts. Messages about the importance of foreign bribery enforcement, as well as of company risk-based approaches to anti-corruption, ESG compliance and reporting, and stakeholder relations. Starting with foreign bribery enforcement, unfortunately, Japan has a very poor record in this area. Transparency International has classified Japan in the category of little or no enforcement, the lowest category in all of our reports on foreign bribery enforcement over the years, including the last one published in 2022. These reports assess the performance of OECD Convention signatory countries and several other major exporting nations in meeting their international obligation to enforce against foreign bribery. Japan is not alone in the bottom category. Other countries there include China, South Korea, and Singapore, together with 17 other countries. Commitment to tackling cross-border bribery is badly lacking in these countries. More specifically regarding Japan, the OECD Working Group on Bribery's 2021 follow-up report on Japan expressed serious concern about Japan's weak enforcement and its inadequate implementation of some of the working group's recommendations. Since then, Japan has introduced some legal reforms, but so far we have not yet seen an impact on enforcement. The Japanese government could show leadership in the region and globally by improving its enforcement performance and by encouraging its neighbors and other low-performing countries to do the same. So, as my first message, I'd like to say that we are very concerned about Japan's lack of foreign bribery enforcement, and we urge you to be even more active in promoting serious steps by the Japanese government. Anti-corruption leadership from the Japanese government would reflect the growing awareness in your country of the importance of the Sustainable Development Goals, as shown in the 2022 SDG Progress Report. This is a welcome development. The survey of Japanese companies in that report suggests a real interest in achieving the SDGs, and also shows that some attention is being paid by companies to the SDG 16.5 goal, quote, to substantially reduce corruption and bribery in all their forms, unquote. However, there are weaknesses in Japanese companies' anti-corruption efforts, including an insufficient emphasis on a risk-based approach. My second message is to encourage you to support stronger national and international rules for companies regarding their anti-corruption practices. Another welcome development is that environmental, social, and governance, or ESG standards, are of increasing importance for investors around the world, including investors in Japanese companies. This trend should help elevate the importance of anti-corruption efforts in Japanese companies, since anti-corruption is not only a crucial part of the G in ESG, but has significant impacts on the E and the S as well. So apart from the risk-based approach to anti-corruption that I mentioned already, it is essential that companies bring together their compliance, marketing, and legal departments to work on anti-corruption together and to ensure the necessary coordination and consistency of purpose. In addition, to ensure that the ESG standards generally, and anti-corruption in particular, are taken seriously, it will be crucial to introduce mandatory and standardized reporting requirements. So my third message is to encourage you to promote interdepartmental collaboration within companies for meaningful ESG compliance that impacts end-to-end value chains, and I also urge you to give strong support to requirements of regular and rigorous ESG reporting. Finally, companies are often unaware of the negative impacts of their corrupt practices on people's lives in affected countries. They may also be unaware that there is increasing momentum behind proposals that victims of transnational corruption should be able to claim compensation for their harm. To better understand the impact that their business has all along their value chains, companies would greatly benefit from engaging with local stakeholders in open and inclusive dialogue. So my fourth and last message is to encourage your support for this kind of stakeholder engagement. Here at Transparency International, we very much appreciate your anti-corruption efforts and hope that you will be able to move your country and your companies forward. We send you our very best wishes for a very successful meeting. Thank you.